The first time Kaya saw them break Saren's wings, she didn't understand what she was witnessing. The station's observation deck had become a gathering place for the younger species, children of diplomats, traders, and military personnel stationed at the threshold, humanity's first deep space embassy. Kaya had been sketching the nebula outside when she heard the sound. A wet snap. Like green wood. Breaking. Followed by a cry that wasn't quite a scream. Saren was small even for a Velkari cub, her downy feathers still soft with youth. The three craven boys, each twice her size, their chitinous plates gleaming under the artificial lights, had her pinned against the viewport. One held her arms. Another gripped her legs. The third methodically bent her wings backward until the delicate bone structure gave way with that terrible sound. Again tomorrow, little bird, the largest one chittered in station common. Unless you want to give us your ration credits now. They left her crumpled on the floor, whimpering, her wings twisted at angles that made Kaya's stomach turn. The human girl stood, her sketchpad forgotten. She walked over and knelt beside Saren, whose large golden eyes were wet with pain and shame. I can fix them, Kaya said quietly. Saren flinched away. They'll just break them again. They always do. Velkari bones heal fast, that's why they enjoy it. How long? What? How long does it take your wings to heal? By morning. Always by morning. Saren's voice cracked. So they can break them again. Kaya helped Saren to the medical bay, where the automated systems realigned the bones and wrapped the wings in regenerative gel. The Velkari cub didn't speak during the treatment, didn't meet Kaya's eyes. She'd learned that hope was more painful than broken wings. That night, Kaya didn't sleep. She sat in her quarters, pulling up files on her datapad. Craven physiology, bone density, armor thickness, weak points. She studied until the station's artificial dawn began to brighten the corridors. The next morning, Kaya was waiting on the observation deck. The three Craven boys arrived with Saren in tow, shoving her ahead of them. The cub's wings were healed, pristine, and perfect, ready to be broken again. It was routine now. Entertainment. You're in our spot, human, the largest Craven said, his mandibles clicking with irritation. Kaya didn't move from where she sat on the bench, her legs crossed, her expression calm. I'm in the middle of sketching. Move. Or we'll move you. You could try. The Craven looked at each other, their compound eyes glittering with something like amusement. Humans were weak things, everyone knew this. No armor, no natural weapons, no enhanced strength. The galaxy had been surprised when humanity had reached for the stars, and more surprised still when they'd survived first contact. But survival and strength were different things. The largest Craven reached for Kaya's shoulder. What happened next took less than 3 seconds. Kaya's hand shot up and grabbed the Craven's manipulator limb, her fingers finding the joint where chitin met soft tissue. She twisted, and something popped. The Craven screeched. Before the other two could react, Kaya had surged to her feet, driving her knee upward into the first attacker's thorax, right where she'd learned the respiratory spiracles clustered. The Craven went down, gasping for air. The second one lunged. Kaya sidestepped, grabbed his head crest, and slammed his face into the viewport. Once. Twice. The reinforced, transparent aluminum didn't crack, but the Craven's mandibles did. The third tried to run. Kaya was faster. She caught him by the rear leg, yanked backward, and when he fell, she was on him. Her fist came down on his eye cluster, the one spot where Craven armor was thin as paper. The soft crunch was followed by a shriek that brought station security running. By the time the guards arrived, all 3 Craven boys were on the ground. One couldn't breathe properly. One couldn't see. One couldn't speak through his shattered mandibles. Kaya stood over them, her knuckles split and bleeding, her chest heaving. Saren stared at her with those wide golden eyes, wings spread in shock. The security officer, a grizzled Mervan with 4 arms and a reputation for fairness, looked at the scene, then at Kaya, then at Saren's medical records that he pulled up on his wrist display. 17 incidents in the past 4 months, he said slowly. All involving these 3. all involving the Valkyrie cub, all treated as juvenile disputes. He looked at Kaya. Your statement? I witnessed assault and intervened. Her voice was steady, though her hands shook slightly. I used appropriate force to stop an ongoing attack. The Mervin's eyes narrowed. Then one of his mouths twisted into something that might have been a smile. Appropriate force. Against 3 Kraven juveniles. With full armor development. I studied their anatomy last night. Seemed appropriate to know where it would hurt most. The next day, the diplomatic quarter erupted in controversy. The Kraven ambassador demanded Kaya's expulsion. The human ambassador produced Saren's complete medical history, along with surveillance footage of every previous attack that station security had ignored. In the end, the Kraven boys were sent home in disgrace. Kaya received a formal reprimand that went into a file no one would ever read. And Saren never had her wings broken again. 2 years later, when Saren graduated top of her class at the Threshold Academy, she gave her speech with her wings fully extended, a display of confidence that made the entire Valkyrie delegation weep with pride. She spoke about courage, about standing against cruelty, about how strength came in many forms. When she finished, she found Kaya in the crowd and bowed low, wings sweeping forward in the deepest gesture of respect her species knew. Kaya just smiled and sketched the moment in her pad, a winged figure standing tall against the stars, unbroken and free. That was the thing about humans that the galaxy was still learning. They didn't need armor or enhanced strength or natural weapons. They had something far more dangerous. They had spite, they had solidarity, and they had an endless, burning hatred for bullies. And sometimes, that was enough to shatter faces and change worlds.